This is Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and today we're going to talk about 3 ways that you can heat during winter when you're off grid. So obviously the best way to heat your off-grid property is with wood. Wood is a renewable resource. It's relatively easy to come by, and it's also fairly inexpensive. You can harvest wood with an axe or a chainsaw and a maul, or you could get something like this, a 34-ton Swisher log splitter, to make a little lighter work of it. But wood is going to be my #1 choice for the off-grid property at our homestead for heat to keep things flowing. So now I'm standing in front of the barn where we're battling to keep our cisterns flowing. It's been negative 13, 15, 17, and even at 0. When we designed this water system, we never anticipated for the temperatures to get this cold for this long. Another way that you can heat is propane. Now these are little propane heaters that you attach right to your propane tank. It's a standard grill, barbecue grill propane tank, and that works pretty good too. And then you'll get about 24 hours out of one of these tanks with the single burner. They also make them in a double burner, and you could use that as well, and you'll get less burn time out of one single tank. Now the third way you can heat is a K1 kerosene heater. Okay, so basically this thing holds probably about 1.5 gallons of fuel, and I'll get about 13 hours out of it roughly. So it does work pretty good. Now I'm going to go over with you guys the pros and cons of each one, and actually the cost. So those are the 3 ways that you guys can heat an off-grid property. Make sure that if you're implementing any one of these ways that you have a carbon monoxide detector. You can get them that run off batteries. We have one behind our wood cook stove in the log cabin back there. And you know, just be safe and make sure you're keeping an eye on things. We've implemented all 3 of these ways the last several days since that last video and a little bit before, to try to keep the cisterns flowing, because if you let them freeze up, the pipes are going to bust, the ball valves are going to bust. It's really going to be a big mess. So we're really fighting hard. We're getting down, like I said earlier, negative 13, negative 17, and I'm still able to keep this room right at about 30, 35 with those. I have all 3 of those systems implemented inside that room, and we are going to be buttoning this room up, getting it airtight, and it's going to be a lot better for our situation. One thing I can say, if you're thinking about going off grid and you're thinking about like where you're going to be and the things you're going to have to put in place, like for us this cistern, and we knew that if I put a wood stove in there that I'd be able to feed that and probably keep the room warm enough, and then bam, we hit extreme temperatures. They really dropped down. So I would say that one stop measure is to think about what you would need. If you learned anything from this video, is think about what you need and then times that by like 2 or 3. So if your temperatures stay I mean, it's cold all the way down to Mississippi and Alabama, and I've heard Texas and Florida. So places that are normally really warm right now are feeling this cold air, guys. So just make sure you know, that you don't make the mistake we did where we thought we could do just this much and get by. Make sure you're fortifying it really good so it can last for you. Now, pros and cons. Of course, wood is #1. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a renewable resource. It's pretty easy to get. If you can't get it, you could probably buy a cord of wood chopped and delivered right to your house relatively inexpensively. In our area, a cord of wood, which is a 4 foot by 4 foot by 8 foot, runs about $130. The next one we'll talk about is the propane. Now propane in our area is about $18 for one of those barbecue grill size propanes. There might be a little bit cheaper if you take them down to like MFA or some kind of a place where they refill propanes. You probably could save a few bucks. So that's not too bad, and it does last about 24, 25 hours. But the drawback is with the single burner, it doesn't put out the BTUs like the K1 kerosene. The K1 kerosene is totally a money drainer. The K1 kerosene in our area, again, every area is different, but about 1 gallon of that stuff runs about $5. And then I want to back up a little bit. accessibility. Like you can pretty much get a cord of wood delivered and dropped off to your house, or there's plenty of trees around usually that you guys can harvest yourselves and save some money that way. Propane is readily available. Most Walmarts and gas stations and stuff like that. I mean, it's proliferated. Like there's a lot of propane cylinder tanks around that you can go in and exchange and use. But the K1 kerosene oil, that's a different story. Even in our area, there's a gas station that pumps K1 kerosene, and they ran out when these temperatures got frigid. So then it became like you can't get it. So even at $5 and something a gallon, and it puts out a ton more BTUs, and it lasts about half as long, a little less than half, it became an issue that we couldn't even get it to run the heater. So keep that in mind too. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys got a little bit of idea of what's going on, especially with these 3 different ways you guys can heat when you're off grid. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I had this, more elaborate video I was going to bring to you guys and film it throughout the day of me running around trying to get everything unthawed. I'm working under the house, I'm working in this room, I'm working out on the line, and I'm trying to, keep it all going because, like I said, the temperatures are really bad. But then it got to be where I was running around so much I couldn't really do it. So I definitely wanted to come on and break down this cost and effectiveness, of using these 3 types of heating situations. The wood by far is superior, but you'll decide. Like we say here, and like someone said one time in our comments, 2 is 1 and 3 is done. So this is Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we're going to see you guys tomorrow. Oh hey, before you go, we're going to be at the Missouri Organic Growers Association conference at the end of the month, January 30th to February 1st and 2nd. It's a great event, a lot of speakers, a lot of information about growing heirloom seeds and organic gardening. So you might want to check that out. Stacy and I will be speakers there. The link is down below. I'll leave that in the comment section for you guys, and I'll also leave it in the description of the video. Hopefully you guys can make it. We'll be there Thursday and Friday. So we won't be there the first day, but we'll be there Thursday and Friday. And if you buy a ticket to the off dinner event, it's an off-site dinner event, you'll actually have dinner with Stacy and myself. So it's in the Kansas City area, and again, all the information is down below. So hopefully we'll see you there.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our video. You might want to check out these videos.
And if you want to become a Homestead Homie, click the picture of us below.
We will see you tomorrow.